Hi, Dr. B here. Welcome to Dr. B Uncensored, where we interview candid thought leaders, entrepreneurs, and founders to tell their story to inspire others to do the same. Hopefully, you enjoyed this episode.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Dr. B Show. I'm here with the great Tannia Ospina. Tanya, how are you today?
Good. Hi. Thank you, Dr. B, for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Dr. B Show, it was a beacon during the pandemic and post-pandemic. People still love it, so that's why we're still here.
And
Love
thank
it.
you for having me.
Thank you. It's an honor to have you on our show. Tell everyone about yourself.
My name is Tannia Ospina. I'm a New Jersey mom of three and also business owner. I help people protect their intellectual property through trademarks and contracts. And I'm also an online business owner. And what can I say? I'm very involved in a lot of different things that really fill me. People ask me why I do so much, but I really enjoy everything I do. I'm also big on volunteerism, so I participate in my kids' PTA programs, and I'm fundraising chair of at the cheer committee for my daughter. So I do a lot of different things, but what I love to do the most is really talk to business owners and help them with their intellectual property.
Love it. We'll get into that in a little bit. Before I get into that, I'm a big educator. Education for me was the key to my success up to this point. You're a Scarlet Knight, all right, for both undergrad and JD from Rutgers. How did that experience help you with your career today?
Well, I think I was very fortunate enough to go to such a great university, Rutgers University. I worked really hard in high school. I graduated number three out of a huge class of 400, and I got a partial scholarship to go to Rutgers for academic reasons. And then I chose to go to Rutgers for law school as well, which I also got a partial scholarship. So I think my experience at Rutgers really just opened up a lot of opportunities for me, a lot of networking opportunities, a lot of opportunities for me to do different things and meet different people. It was such a huge school, a little overwhelming in the beginning, but I found my community. I found different friends, some that looked like me, some that didn't look like me, and it really gave me a great experience.
Love it. To piggyback off that, you also was involved in sorority or networks, right? So how did that help you as well?
Well, with my sorority life, Rutgers sorority life and Greek life is
Yeah,
huge.
as I said.
So
Yep.
not only for social reasons, but also for leadership reasons, for really philanthropy reasons. So I feel like it gave me the opportunity to really give back to New Brunswick community because I went to Rutgers, New Brunswick. So we got to, participate in different like we would adopt a family every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, and really bring a lot of joy to people locally. Then we would also have the opportunity to do social events. I was the at one point I was the president, I was the social chair, and I was the academic chair. So I did a lot of social events for my sorority chapter. So this involved like having huge parties at big nightclubs, which we did for our fundraising efforts. And we also did a lot of shows, so a lot of step and stroll shows. So once again, it helped me meet different people from different sororities, not just my own. I think it gave me the ability to work with different people, learn how it is to work in groups. I mean, I think I love that experience. And then academically, I knew I always wanted to go to law school, so I had to be able to juggle having a lot on my plate, and still do well academically, right?
Right.
So it kind of like pushed me to really manage my time better, to really get focused on my priorities. So it was great.
As a follow-up to that question, I'm big on volunteerism. I give back through Prosponic and other nonprofit organizations for those that are, I don't want to say stuck, but those that are in a position where whether it's their business or even career, why should why should they volunteer? Why should they join a board or their child's PTA or association?
I think for me, volunteerism is a way for me to, one, represent our community, represent Latinos, represent who we are and that we contribute and we are hard workers. So that's one of the reasons why I give back, because I want to represent as a Latina that likes to give back. Kind of just for me personally, I would say it fills me. It fills me. It's something that maybe I'm not sure where it comes from, but I enjoy doing it. I enjoy giving back. I like to feel like I'm contributing to something greater. I feel like I like to, you know, yeah, okay, it's great to get paid for things. And obviously I love to sell things. I love to, you know, get paid as a business owner, but there's certain things that just really fill you. So even with my online business, I've had the opportunity to give back to my local, my hometown, and with gifts, with donations. And for me, that fills me. And that, for me, it looks like, it's like, here's a Latina giving back to her community, because that's important, because you want to support people. And also you want to, there's going to be other little Latina girls like me that are going to want to do a lot. And, a lot of people have always told me, like, wow, you're like really ambitious, but kind of in a way that's like kind of bad, not like, wow, you're ambitious, not like, oh, wow, you're ambitious, So for me, that used to offend me sometimes, to be like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean I'm ambitious? But I guess for now, I take it as in the way, like, yes, I'm ambitious because I want to represent, I want to give back. I also want to make money. I want to do all these things, and it's okay. No one should make you feel bad because you want to volunteer, because you want to have multiple businesses, because you want to represent your community in a good way.
I love it. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with giving back. Trying to shift gears a little bit. You also founded Bell Threads and an e-commerce space since 2015. How did that come about?
Well, I think obviously you talk to a lot of business owners, so do I. I think, if you really look at their stories, we kind of all have the same story. And I really think that for every great business, it was always founded because of personal experience and a need, right? In that person's life. So I founded Bell Threads when I was a young attorney, and I was actually mom. I was pregnant in law school, and I was already a mom when I became a lawyer. So as a young attorney, I started in a field of law that I did not really love, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to start up a hobby, just start up selling online. But this was not something new to me. I had been selling online since I was really in law school. I was selling, law school books, and then I started selling jewelry because I was like, okay, I need more stuff to sell online, as a way to really just like fund my legal education, because it was really expensive. And I was familiar in that world, and I wanted that flexibility and freedom as a young mom. I had just, become an attorney, and I now was a mom of two. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to open up an online store. I'm going to learn how to sew. I'm going to, it's really crazy when I think about it, because I didn't even know how to sew. I'm going to just do this for a while, pay back some law school loans. I get to take my kids to all these, baby classes, and take them to the library whenever I want. And I'll go back to practicing law later on. And I actually had multiple job offers. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do this for a year, and then I had this job offer I had accepted. And then a year passed by, and my business was doing really well. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to take this job, this new legal job. I'm just going to keep on doing this for a while. And then it just, became a lot bigger than I would have ever thought it would. I have employees. I have a very big online presence. Yeah. So it wasn't intentional, but it was intentional for me to kind of have a fulfilled life,
I love it.
and really love what I do. So
I love that. So you alluded to the attorney stuff. So how did you start your law firm? And how'd you pick that niche of intellectual property? I know you didn't like what you was doing before, but how'd you pivot into IP?
So, I was doing criminal defense, which is completely different. And one
Totally
of
different. Totally
my, I know.
different.
But honestly, as a little girl, and quite honestly, again, once that same story from personal experience and need, with the online business, I had a lot of intellectual property issues, people copying me, infringement. So I started to protect the brand with contracts, with trademarks. And then I was like, wow, this is really amazing. I can't believe people do this for a living. This is kind of like what I want to do next. And this is what I want to retire doing. And then, the more I told people, the more I said it out loud, I was just like, I can't do this. So honestly, I've been wanting to do a law firm for a few years. And finally this year, I was just like, I'm going to do it. My friends were like, hey, can you do my trademark for me? Can you do this for me? And I was like, this is an actual other business. And I founded my law firm this year. And yeah, it's been great.
I love it. I love it. Love the story. We're going to pivot into something macro as well. So, according to Forbes, e-commerce market as of 22 or 23 is a $6.3 trillion market. You can sell from anywhere, basically. I was just talking to someone else. As long as you have Wi-Fi, and you can sell from anywhere, right? And an online presence. Do you see an entry point now? Is it too late? Is there to kind of jump into e-commerce? I just want to know your opinion on that.
No, I think there's still room. I will be very honest. I think my business, my law firm business is much easier than my e-commerce business. And not because what I practice is easy, right? It's not easy at all. And obviously it took me a long time to become a lawyer and then be able to practice law. But honestly, being an e-commerce owner is very difficult. But I think I still see a lot of successful new e-commerce businesses. I think there's so much space in the digital product world, especially. I think there's so much room still available for that, even with physical products, which it is different. Physical and digital, it's completely different. And then you have a lot of drop shipping too. People are doing a lot of drop shipping where they literally live like anywhere. So of course, there's definitely a lot of room for anyone. It just really depends what you want to do and how intentional you're going to be and how focused you're going to be. I think it's something difficult to do, just to let's see how this goes. I think like anything, they have to have a business plan. They have to have like a strength, the SWOT analysis and look at, what are they going to focus on? I think they have to plan it out, because if you're just going to be like, let me just, start selling, I don't know, like, dog supplies, and they don't have a business plan. They don't have a name, part of what I do is like, trademarks, right? A lot of new business owners will just kind of like do this not really seriously, and they'll just pick whatever name. And then, it turns out that they're infringing on someone else's brand. Then they have to rebrand. Now they have to change their website domain name. Now they basically lose all that history. And in the e-commerce world, and I really know this because I've been in the e-commerce world for more than 10 years now, a long web, like an old website, like my website's pretty old. It's like from 2015. That has a lot of value because it has a lot of presence. I mean, the SEO, the keywords, all that information that's there, like has lived on the internet for years. So you lose all that, so I would say new business owners, yes, there's definitely room for you to get involved in the e-commerce world. But you have to do it right. You have to actually have a business plan. You have to trademark your name. You have to figure out, who your customer is going to be. Actually think about like an avatar. Focus on one platform instead of like a billion platforms. You're going to sell via social. Okay, cool. You're going to do a podcast. Okay, cool. Stick to that. And I think a lot of people see like these highly successful like drop shippers or e-commerce brands. They think it's like overnight success, and it's really not overnight success. This was like years in the making. So I think also, okay, there's room for you, but give everything you do like at least 6 months Don't just be like, oh, this podcast is not getting me any sales. I think that's something that people don't realize too. Like whatever you try to focus on, you can't just be like, all right, I'm going to try this for 2 weeks. And
Right.
then you don't see anything. And it's like, well, you haven't really stuck with it. You haven't been consistent for that long.
Yeah, they get
So
impatient. They get impatient. There's not enough data to kind of in a week to kind of say, oh, it just works. Yeah, you need some time, to so some sustaining time, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, to kind of say, okay, then at that point, and then you could kind of pivot into something else. So I agree, 100%.
yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you see it too. I'm sure
Yeah,
because you do a lot of consulting and
yeah,
coaching work too. So
yeah.
you're like, wait, how long did you do that?
Right,
Right. And you're probably
right.
like, that's not
A
enough
week,
time.
once, twice.
Yeah, like, oh, I did that once and then nothing came out of it.
Like, well, exactly. Tell me, why do people neglect IP so much, or intellectual property? What should small businesses do right now to protect their business?
Oh my gosh. So I actually wrote up, let me reference this because I thought that this was pretty cool that I wrote this up. So I wrote up a bunch of excuses, and quite honestly, they're very common. So I don't want to, make it seem like I'm kind of like shaming people or anything, because a lot of people do these things. A lot of people will say, I don't have the time. As new business owners, your time is super limited. People don't know what to do next. They don't even know what to focus on, right? So they'll say, I don't have the time to trademark. I don't have the time to do contracts. Oh, I'll just Google this contract. I'll DIY it. You know, legal stuff, you don't want, it's not like a arts and craft project. It's not. You don't want to DIY anything legal. Um, they will say, oh, all that stuff is expensive. They'll say, oh, hiring a lawyer is expensive. Lawyers are expensive. I think the modern law firm, like people like me, especially that have worked with small business owners that have actually been small business owners, understand that. I mean, you guys, small businesses don't have a lot of money. So one of the things we offer is like, flat fees. So instead of hourly fees, we actually offer different packages, different services at flat fees, which is great. The other thing people will say is, oh, I don't need a trademark. My business, like kind of like me, oh, I have had this business for 10 years, you know, who's going to copy me? Everyone knows that my name, no one's going to try to copy that name. And it's like, kind of like, it should really be the opposite. It's like, oh, you're actually established. Your business, your name means something. No, actually, a lot of people are going to copy you because of that. But people don't understand that just because they were the first to use that name, it doesn't necessarily you're going to get to keep that name if someone else trademarks it.
Makes total sense. Makes total sense.
So or they'll really say like, I don't even understand why I need to trademark. Like, I don't even understand what it does. So there's like that education piece. It's a lot. So I think all these reasons kind of just, I think that's why I love like the entrepreneurship training programs. I love when people actually take the time to get coaching with actual people that have had businesses. I think that's so important because these people kind of guide you and mentor you to making sure like you don't neglect these things.
Makes total sense. Final question, or final two questions.
Mhm.
So, one, what final tip, or one tip that you think day one, let's say someone's unsure of when it comes to their IP, and two, how could people contact you?
One tip,
I know.
there's so many.
I know
Um,
some of the ones that what's a must.
let's
Talk to
see.
you. Yes. Besides
Um,
that.
no, I mean, there's I think there's so many different trademark attorneys. There really is. Intellectual property attorneys at big law firms, little law firms, solos like myself. I think it's important to honestly just talk to a lawyer about, that knows intellectual property. that cares about your business. I think it's so important to not like see your business as like a bigger business, right? So many times we see our businesses like, oh, this is a small business. This is a family business. It's just me. No, but I really think we need to take ourselves seriously. So when it comes to legal stuff, don't DIY it. Hire a lawyer. When it comes to financial things, don't try to do your own bookkeeping. Hire a bookkeeper, hire an accountant. With that said, I think my headline of all that I just said would be like, take your business seriously.
I love it. I love it. That's like your business serious. And where can people find you, or if they want to reach out to you?
So they could go to my website, which is the Ospina, Ospina lawfirm.com, or look for me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm proud to be a TikTok lawyer.
That's
You'll see
good. So
more
me.
videos of me dancing. No, I try to give like practical and kind of like advice with humor, to make it relatable. On Instagram at Tannia, Tannia Ospina ESQ, and on TikTok, the same spelling, Tannia Tannia Ospina ESQ, and my email, Tannia Tannia at theospinalawfirm.com.
I love it. The Ospina Law, everything. Thank you so much, Tannia. Thank you so much for being on my show today. Tannia Ospina,
Thank you so
everybody.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, everybody. Dr. B here, Dr. B Uncensored. Hopefully, you enjoyed that episode. Remember, you are one big deal away. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel now. Take care.